So on this one, the body man was in a little bit of a hurry, and he didn't think there was refrigerant in the old condenser because it was hit in the center and it was smashed in, and there's like a big, it looked like a hole. The refrigerant tubes were spread open. So he unscrewed it with his air impact gun, and as you can see, the refrigerant oil sprayed out all over the place. And I was at my car walking over here with the recovery unit to recover the refrigerant out, and I come up and I smell the smell of refrigerant oil in the air really strong, and I go, why do I smell like refrigerant oil in the air? And then I see all the oil dripping down, and I realize what he did, release all the refrigerant out. So definitely no air got into this system, that's for damn sure, because he put the new one immediately back on, and it's been about 60 seconds and I'm down to 1,000 microns. And so this is ready to charge up. That'll be it. Basically, this is a brand new condenser. Well, since he did it the EPA unapproved way, there was refrigerant in the system and he broke the lines loose. So there's still a lot of refrigerant left in the system because the system got cold so fast by lowering the pressure. Refrigerant is trapped in the oil in the entire system. And so as he's changing from the old one to the new one, that means there's a constant flow of refrigerant vapor out of the high side and low side line at a positive pressure in the system, never allowing any atmospheric air to go into the system. Now, this is the wrong way to do it, of course, for many reasons, but this is a brand new condenser that was filled under pressure, dry with nitrogen. And so basically you have a clean, dry internals of a brand new condenser put on to a clean, dry system that was never pumped down or evacuated. No air ever got into it. So theoretically, I could fill it right now within 2 minutes and I'd be okay. But I'm gonna make sure I have all the refrigerant out of the system. It's really cold in there, and that stuff happens. And what I have, I have one of my good shops unfortunately had some management change. Now here's something about business, and I think many of us who are older, you young guys may not have experienced this yet because you haven't worked in a place long enough or worked at enough places yet. You have a old management system that's been in place. It's been doing really good. Mechanics are always judged by their performance and everything like that. Well, then you have a new management system that comes into a place, and it might be somebody who's coming from corporate world. Maybe they have their master's or BA in business or business management or something like that, some toilet paper degree. And they're gonna set up a system that's used in a large corporate facility, a scene of large corporate, but they're going to try to apply it to a small private garage that maybe only has 6 guys in it. And then all of a sudden there's a lot of problems with efficiency because not one, you're learning a new system, but two, it's not really geared towards service structure type business and proficiency. It's structured towards management side of the business and efficiency. And I've lived through this a couple times. The guys are getting mad. A couple guys quit. When I went there, I noticed that people weren't all happy and joyful and walking with a stride like they always were over the years. And so I went to one of the technicians who was sitting down, and I asked him, so what do you think about what's going on around here? He managed a management change or something like that, the way things are good. And he just let out a gasp of air and just went, phew, oh, you have no idea how bad it is. And he says, I'm out of here. He goes, he's only been, I think, doing this for 3 years. And he says he's going to quit the automotive business altogether. He's so fed up that there's no way for him to make money now with their new management system. And he is just fed up with the automotive business. He says, I'm going into, I guess he has a friend in another business, and he's just going to completely drop the automotive business. Another guy, I asked him the same thing, and he looked at me and he rolled his eyes, and I go, "It's that bad, huh?" And he goes, "Yeah, it's that bad." And I guess you're going to be out of here. He goes, "Yeah, I'm going to be out of here. They don't know it yet, but I'm going to be out of here." So I've heard this for 30 years of going in business. I get to hear all the inside stuff because I get to see these technicians in other job sites later on in the future if they stay in the automotive business. So then I knew the one trusted person who I could reliably ask a question of, because he has like 30 years in the business and he's been there a few years and he's seen some turmoil changes. And he said, "This place really went down here when so-and-so quit." I'm not going to name no names, but there was somebody who had, like, after 5 years of experience, they got really good at the front desk, and they got to the point where that person can put out the fires and correct the mistakes of the newer young people who came in and were behind the desk and had a good rapport with all the customers. Well, that person could not get a raise and get enough money in the location to live in the city. So they moved away and they quit that job. And after that, I started seeing this business have a lot of problems and start go through people. Costly mistakes were being made. Well, this means the mechanics cannot keep their times up because parts keep getting ordered wrong, miscommunication between technician and customer, a lot of these things. And then that reflects on the mechanics, you guys who work and you actually do the work and make the money and wrench. That means you cannot be efficient. And those mistakes, like getting wrong parts, or the parts didn't all get ordered, or they got ordered late because the person responsible behind the desk forgot. And often the people being hired to go behind the desk don't know automotive parts. And this is one of the biggest problems. So that makes the productivity of the whole entire shop go down. And then someone comes in with a bright idea with, "We're going to do by the book, this corporate method, it works in other places, and we're going to implement this." And I was seeing the meetings and listening to things, and I knew the shit hit the fan and things were going to go downhill because I've lived through this more than once. And of course, I asked the older guy, and I go, "So, what's your future around here?" He goes, "I'm retiring." He goes, "I'm going to retire early. I'm getting out of here." He says, "You just don't know how bad it is now." And this has been happening, especially a lot in the last 2 years after the shutdown. But yeah, it's a shame. It's going to see, there's only so many things. Shops go up in the future or they go down. And there's patterns that every shop, and the shop owner doesn't see this because he's inside his little world and he doesn't see from outside. And if the shop owner isn't a technician and working and going through the hardships of all the things that make the technician slower, like not having parts, the wrong parts get ordered, many little things, they just don't see that. They just want to see numbers on a spreadsheet. And yeah, it's a shame to see this shop go downhill. I don't know if they're going to survive. And the owner is intelligent. The owner used to wrench out in the shop. But it's a sad one to see so many problems. And it's really obvious. As soon as I walked in the shop, I knew there was something wrong. It's been a while since I've been in there, and I noticed the car count is down. And some toolboxes are missing. So, yeah. It's going to be a shame to see this shop either fail or go through some really hard times just because of too many changes. And yeah, seen it many times and I've experienced. All right, guys. So I rambled and blabbered on too long for this, and I'll see you later. I got some oil to replace because the technician let it like just blow out with all the refrigerant. See you guys.